Good morning, everyone. We have about a minute and a half before we're going to get started. Make sure you have your water close by, chair, or some type of surface for if you're going to be standing and need some support with your balance. Make sure you have music if that's something you like, and that your space is clear of any hazards. Get started in just a moment here. All right, we're going to get started here. Welcome to the Cowichan Brain Injury Society 10, 10, and 10 Morning Wake Up Program. Cowichan Brain Injury Society is a nonprofit organization serving folks with brain injury as well as their supports, so caregivers, families in the Cowichan Valley. Our 10, 10, and 10 Morning Wake Up Program is our weekly YouTube kind of morning wake up. So we do 10 minutes of movement, 10 minutes of learning something new, and 10 minutes of mindfulness, coinciding with the 6 pillars of brain health, covering 3 of them: physical activity, stress management, and cognitive stimulation. I am Billy. I am the kinesiologist at Cowichan Brain Injury Society, and I want to remind you that Cowichan Brain Injury Society is not liable for any risk or injury that happens while participating in this program. So that being said, I want you to make sure that your environment is safe, that it's clear of any hazards, that you're in comfortable clothing, and that you're not going to slip and slide too much on your floor, that you're ideally in a straight back chair so that you can engage your core and have a mind-body connection. I also, if possible, if you have a chair that doesn't have arm rests, that is beneficial, because if we're swinging our arms out to the side or even moving our legs, those armrests don't get in the way. I want you to listen to your body. If anything feels painful, I don't want you moving into the pain. So if you have a shoulder issue, I only want you to go in a range of motion that feels good for your body. We're looking for movements that feel nice in our bodies and is getting movement, a little bit of heart rate up, but not making anything worse. It is advised to seek any medical professional attention if you have any ongoing chronic issues that are not being managed. All right, with that all being said, we're going to start moving. I'm going to put my music on as it helps me move a little bit, and we're going to do our 10 minutes of movement. All right, so I want you to be the edge of your chair, ideally, feet planted on the ground, core engaged. So thinking about a bit of a brace here. So just your belly button coming in lightly, not too tight. We're not sucking in. We're just having some engagement. Bracing as if someone was going to come and hit your tummy. It would be a bit braced hard there. Nice and tall. Think about our spine being elongated, almost like we have a string attached to the crown of our head, bringing us up towards the sky. Okay, I'm going to bring our arms out in front, and then we're going to supinate them. So have our palms down, palms up, palms down, palms up. Nice. Good. Just getting a little bit of movement here. Awesome. The next time your palms are up, I want you to bring out to the side and then come into the center again. Out to the side, center. Nice work. Awesome. And do this for a few more seconds. We're going to keep our arms engaged. I want your arms kind of into your armpits here, and then we're punching forward into our armpits, squeezing our shoulder blades together at the back. Punch forward, squeezing back, like you're pulling something on the way back here. Good. We're going to add in a bit of a cognitive thing. Mostly we're just going to actually add extra movements, but because we're going to be moving different sides of our bodies in different ways, it will make our brain work a little bit harder. So we're going to alternate right now. Good. All right. Okay, we're going to try to grab out to the side and then in front of us, coming back, then alternating. This is where we're getting a bit more challenging using our brain. Good. Should feel it in our arms a bit here too. Working on some arm endurance. Our deltoids and our biceps are working here. Getting our back engaged as well. Nice work. Good. Whoop, I got messed up there. Okay, we're going to come back into the center. I want us in this goalpost position. We're going to be closing, opening, closing, opening. We're going to do a bit of a pattern. So this is one of our movements. Our next movement's going to be if we can go overhead, but if not, we're maybe here and we're just squeezing down. That's fine, but if you can reach overhead, squeezing, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to close, open, 2, 3, up, down, up, down, up, down, close, open, close, open, close, up, down, down. Nice. This set 2 more times, close, open, up, down, up, down, up, down, close, open, close, open. One more time. Up, down. This is the last one. One last one here. Up, down. Okay, shake out those arms. You should feel them working a bit here. Ugh. I know I feel it in my deltoids there for sure. This part of my shoulder, having them up like that the whole time. It's great. Okay, we're going to extend our right leg. We're going to slide it across the ground. You can keep your heel on the ground. And we're just opening our hips here a bit, just as far as feels good. Now this can be also done standing, having something for balance, swinging our leg out. Good. This is what I want you to be doing if you're standing, getting some balance here. Good work. I'm going to go to the other leg for a moment. Again, if you're sitting, extending your left leg out, sliding it across the ground. If you're standing, we're swinging our leg out to the side. Oh, can't see me very well there. My head's being chopped off the light. Good. Using something to balance. Chair can be at your side or in front of you. Good work. A couple more seconds. Nice work. Okay. We're just going to kick out a little bit faster here. We can punch the opposite arm, or you can just stick with your legs here. Hands on your hips, nice tall posture still. Good. I'm just on my tippy toes here, pointing and kicking out. You can do this standing. Good. We're going to do about 15 more seconds here. Nice work. Okay, we're going to do some hip hinging. If you're in a seated position, you can have your hands on your hips, nice tall posture. You're trying to keep your spine nice and neutral and tall. So our neck is staying in the same position. And then we're just going to hinge at our hips, keeping everything else nice and straight, coming back up. Good work. Now this can cause some nausea, dizziness. So you can just do a couple or go really slow or not as far into your motion so that you're not activating too much nausea or dizziness if this is something you struggle with. If you're standing, same thing. Nice wide stance. Our feet just under our hips here, bending forward, keeping everything straight. Some people call these good mornings. We're sticking our bottom out. As we go back, you'll feel a stretch through the back of your legs when you come down. Coming up strong and tall. Good. Do a couple more seconds here. Nice work. Good. We're going to do some fast feet. So again, I'm just kind of on my tippy toes here, and I'm just bouncing my legs. It's not a slow march. We're going quick. You can have your arms engaged as well, like you're running on the spot. If you're standing, running on the spot with a little bend in your knees, a little sitting just a little bit here. I'm going to do this for about 15 more seconds. Let's go. Nice work. Keep it up. We're almost there. Awesome. All right. We'll sit down again. Or if you're still seated, that's totally fine. We're going to bring our toes up. So this is just small movement. Since this is not probably getting our heart rate up going, you see my toes lifting there? Well, let's add something else here. Let's add just a reach up above. Ooh, slowed me down. Lifting my toes and my hands. Slowed me down a little bit here. Good work. Just a little bit longer. Those toes up. Okay, let's get those heels up. Actually, I want you to be in a wider position at the edge of your chair. I want you to lean forward a little bit so you have some weight on your legs. So you're trying to shift your weight into your legs. And then we're going to lift up those heels. Okay? Come down. You can do this standing. Standing, you're in a squat, lifting the heels. You can use something to balance. Heels going up onto the balls of your feet. Trying to feel pressure on that kind of near the big toe, the ball of the big toe, as well as the outside closer to the smaller toe. Trying not to roll in or out too much. Trying to be balanced here. Awesome, good work. Okay, the last one we're gonna do is an abdominal exercise. We're again gonna extend one leg and we're lifting right up, gauging our core. Just for a few seconds here. You'll feel it in your quad as well, so your leg will be engaged and contracted as well. But we're thinking about our abs. Let's go to the other side, just for 15 seconds. Good work. Awesome. Almost there. Nice job. I'm going to pause my music here. I don't know about you, but that kind of got me ready. I want to keep moving. I was feeling a little bit slow this morning, but that helped me feel like I want to move a bit more. I'm going to move my chair up, as I usually do. Feel like I'm talking to folks a bit better here. Take a sip of my water. We've been talking about cognitive stimulation this month, which is ultimately learning something new. Last week, we just kind of talked about why learning something new is good for you and the types of activities that are really essential for creating this neuroplasticity and new neural pathways. One thing I want to remind you is that the resistance, the when things get difficult, that's where the magic happens. That's when your brain is really laying down new pathways and rewiring in different ways, helping you learn new skills, new information, etc. So when something feels hard, trying to be like, okay, this is it. Things are happening in my brain now. There's really some change happening to structures or neural pathways, which is going to get us into the growth mindset, which is also called the incremental theory. So I want to preface this. I like to share a little bit about myself is, I don't think I default to this growth mindset, which we're going to discuss what that means. I think I default to the other side of the spectrum, which if we're talking about a spectrum here, on one side we have this growth mindset and the other side we have a fixed mindset or infinity theory, infinity mindset. Anyway, so we're going to say growth mindset, fixed mindset. And obviously we can kind of be within this spectrum somewhere. I think I gravitate a little bit more to the fixed mindset, where it's like, what that means is I am only as smart or as skilled or as talented as I was when I was born. I got this amount of stuff and this is what I was dealt. There you go. And if I can't do something, I can't do something. A growth mindset, on the other hand, understands that we can change how our brain works. We can develop new skills. We can learn new things, and that those things are malleable and ever changing. Things like our skill set, our knowledge, our even personality and how we show up in the world. All those things can change. We are adaptable versus we're kind of stuck in the way we are. That's what we were dealt. Now, the growth mindset allows for just greater, I don't want to say greater enjoyment, but it allows for us to understand that things are challenging and that not everything's going to come easy, but if we stick to it and work through it, we will come out the other side with change, development, etc. Where the fixed mindset often is like, this is challenging, hard, I can't do this, I'm done with it. So as someone who's a bit more fixed, I'm trying to work at having more of a growth mindset, which, as we're learning here, is our brain can change and how we think about things can change and develop through time. So we're going to leave the fixed mindset. We're going to be trying to foster this growth mindset. So some ideas behind this growth mindset is that intelligence is malleable, it's ever changing, and it's the belief that learning and growing is possible and happening throughout our lifetime. There's a bit more of an emphasis on this idea of nature when we think of nature versus nurture. With the growth mindset, it's more of how we're nurtured, how we do things, how we look at things changes who we are and affects how we see the world, how we show up in the world, etc. And the goal here when we're learning something new, if we have the growth mindset, is about the learning. It's not about the validation. And I don't know about you, but I really like when people tell me I'm doing a good job. Like, it's uncomfortable, but that's usually how I know I'm doing a good job. Or if I am in school, works really well for me because when I get a grade, it's a very clear, you have done well, check, right? But the growth mindset is not so worried about that A+ or B+, that grade. It's about the process of learning, the journey of learning the information. And it's about thinking about effort as a tool that activates ability, that allows us to change and grow. So effort is a big part of this too, is, if we don't put the effort, the time, the focus in something, that's really why maybe we haven't developed a skill. But if we do put that effort and time, anything is kind of possible. It also makes us think about failure in a different way. That failure doesn't mean I'm not good, I can't do this, I should give up. Sometimes I do. And this is not saying one's bad or one's right, but growth mindset gives more opportunity for growth and less anxiety, I think. So with a growth mindset, failure is just that I'm not there yet. I got to revise things. The way I'm going about this isn't working for me. How do I change this? It's just giving you information about how you might do something differently, right? So that's quite beautiful. It's like failures are part of things. Making mistakes is part of learning. And actually, when you're making mistakes, when you're failing, when it's hard, that's really where that change is happening. They're also open to feedback. They ask for input. They ask for help when things are challenging. I don't understand this. This isn't, I'm not getting it. How can I do this differently? I think I might need some support here. And not being afraid of asking for help and support when things are challenging. Again, much easier said than done. For me anyways. Some of us might more naturally have this growth mindset, or we've been nurtured in a family or an environment that really uplifts or feeds into this growth mindset. And some of us maybe less so. So now, a growth mindset I like this. It's kind of a quote. I'll put the site where the article I read about, where I got a lot of this information from. It can help us move in harmony towards our goals versus anxiously struggling against them. I really like this idea. So it can help us move in harmony towards our goals instead of anxiously struggling against them. So again, someone with a fixed mindset might still have goals, but it feels icky and hard when you're doing something new and you can't get it right. And where with a growth mindset, it is this harmony of growing and this malleable, ever changing. Yes, it's difficult, but then how do I go about doing it in a new way that will provide me with more learning, more growth, more understanding? Another thing about this growth mindset is it sees setbacks as a springboard for growth. And it's really about focusing on this process, the process of learning, the journey, right? Often people talk about this in just a life, kind of greater life view, is that it's not about where you're going, it's about the journey on the way there or whatnot. I'm probably getting that quote wrong, but you kind of know what I mean. I actually have, this has been on my fridge for a long time because my Other people in my life also maybe default to this more fixed mindset. So I'm trying to help my family develop and work towards more of a growth mindset. And this is kind of a nice little, I don't know if you can see this, but what happens when someone has a growth mindset and it has all these different things, like they ask for help, they learn from feedback, they love learning, they love new challenges, they aren't afraid to fail, view mistakes as opportunities, get inspired by others instead of threatened by others. I like that one too. It's like if you see someone doing something cool that you want to do, that's inspiration, right? Oh, how do I get to that point? Instead of, oh my gosh, they're so much better than me, I'm never going to be that good, right? You can see how this language, it can really affect our well-being. So having a growth mindset just allows for us accessing that learning, that cognitive stimulation in quotations, maybe not an easier way, but a more joyful way, coming at it from a place of pleasure, excitement, enthusiasm, instead of resistance, difficulty, anxiety, etc. And this is something you can learn. I have, in the last couple of years, definitely been noticing when I'm going towards that, I want to give up, I'm no good at this, or everyone's better at this than me, and changing that dialogue. So that in itself is rewiring our brain, right? Catching those messages and then changing that dialogue. So yeah, I recommend noticing where you maybe fall on this continuum, maybe where you lean naturally, and then do I want to change that? Also, you have choice in your life. You always get to choose if you want to work towards this or not. But if you want to move the needle from one side to the other, how you can do that. I hope this gave you some insight. So that's our learning, growth mindset or incremental theory. Can be important for cognitive stimulation to feel like more of a joyful process than about an anxiously resistant destination we're trying to get to, if that makes sense. Okay, we're going to move on to our mindfulness now. I want you to get comfortable in your chair. So you might be sitting back, you might add a pillow, anything like this. And we're going to be doing, it's kind of like box breathing, but we're going to call it rainbow breathing. It is Pride Month. We're in June. So that is celebrating the LGBTQIA plus individuals. Two-spirited individuals should have been at the beginning there. So they are this community, my community, uses rainbows as a symbol for inclusion and respecting all people and how they want to live their lives, who they want to love, how they express themselves. All right. So we're going to do rainbow breathing. We're going to use just our pointer finger as a guide. It's going to be drawing rainbows across, well, for you, the screen here, but in front of you. And we're going to use this to guide our breathing in. And then we're going to do a rainbow on the way out. So we're going to be inhaling one way, drawing our rainbow, hold for a moment, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Continue doing this. I want you to remember on your inhales, you're breathing through your nose and expanding your belly. Deep diaphragm breathing, belly breathing. And on the exhale, you can exhale through your mouth or your nose. and bringing your belly inwards a bit. Again, not sucking in, but feeling that rise and fall of your diaphragm as you're inhaling and exhaling. Moving at a pace that feels good as you draw your rainbow in front of you. Going to add in some colors. You can literally go through the rainbow colors, or on your inhale, you can choose a color that you're drawing. Think about your finger releasing this color. Inhale. And exhale, having a different color being drawn, coming out of your breath. Let's try to change what hand's doing the drawing now. And gives the one arm a bit of a rest and challenges the other side of our body to do the same movement. Continuing inhaling and exhaling as you draw your rainbow. So a couple more breaths here. Again, thinking about that rise and fall of your diaphragm, painting a color in front of you as you inhale and exhale. Going at a pace that feels good. We're matching a movement to our breath, which can be a great way to ground ourselves. Remembering we're using these tools to help us refocus. So as thoughts come into our mind, we're refocusing on our rainbow. We're refocusing on the colors we're drawing. We're refocusing on our breath. When the anxiety of maybe something we're learning that's new is coming to us, we can use these mindfulness techniques to ground ourselves in our body, in the moment, send us positive messages. Awesome. Let's bring our hands down. So reminder is that we are just doing different breathing techniques, mindfulness techniques to help us develop that skill. It's a skill like anything else, learning how to be mindful and present and allowing all of the thoughts of the future and the past be let go so that we can be here in the moment. It's a great way to manage stress. Great way to manage anxiety when you are, either moving into something new in your life or have something coming up that might be difficult for you. This could be an important doctor's appointment. This could be changing medication. This could be a family event. Any of these things might cause some anxiety and stress in your body. So finding techniques that help ground you in yourself, in the moment, can be a great way to manage these anxieties. You can always use, refocusing on words, on your breathing, on a sensation, and a sound. Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of our 10, 10, and 10 morning wake-up program. Keep those brains healthy, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.